Okay, welcome guys. Sorry, I'm slightly late on. I'm about to start in 1 minute and give everyone a chance to realize that we're live, and then we'll continue. But yeah, welcome guys. It's been an interesting one with the dollar so far today. Quite a new thing, couple of good things to show you. I want to see how the price action is going to behave. Definitely want to get all of you guys involved as well. So I'm just waiting a little bit longer, and then we're going to proceed with our analysis. But yeah, welcome guys as you come on. And even if you don't watch this now, excuse me, and you watch this later on, not a problem at all. Okay. But so get this going. Yeah. So let's get cracking and let's have a look at the dollar first of all, which is going to be the start now. I'm sure some of you who are holding on to the long positions, you probably won't be you're probably unscathed by what happened with the price, especially because if you go in from the first shout, we're at least $4 up from $100. So we're quite far away in terms of distance from this initial movement for today that we've had. Now, the price action has been pretty interesting, okay, and I'm going to go straight to it. So on the D1, we're still inside of this supply zone, guys, which is the key I said to you guys that we need to watch out for. The price is inside of this D1 supply zone. Now, I don't like this deep blue color because I feel like it just takes away from being able to see stuff. So let me just make this a bit, let's just make this, all right, sky blue, yeah. All right, so on the H4, right, first things first, coming into the new week, we've had the price close with the wick of the candle above the previous weekly highs, which means that there must have been a lot of buy stop liquidity resting above these highs up here. So above here, there must have been a lot of buy stop liquidity because if you look at what happened today, as soon as the price wicked above here in the normal wick range, 12 to 20 pips above the high, the next 4 hours was an absolutely massive short. Okay. The price didn't even give any room for hardly any buyers at all. We actually formed a liquidity void here. All right. Now, this liquidity void, I expect it to be filled, of course. A few things about structure that I want to pay a little bit more attention to is first thing is this low over here, the stop hand low. We still haven't had the price break the structure, especially with the body of the candle, which I like to see. Let's put that back here. Right. That's a good thing. Right. The body of the candle hasn't closed beneath the low of this initial stop point movement we had. Now, I don't like the fact now for me, what I was expecting, okay, is for price to just stay within this demand zone area here and keep on rallying. But what we've had is that price has actually broken beneath it and back above it. Not the nicest signature, I'll be totally honest, and not the most comfortable signature to be in when you're trying to be long on a dollar pair or the long on the dollar in general, right? Not really a nice sight to see. But nonetheless, that's what we have. So with that being said, and the price action that we've kind of derived, the prices derived from here, let me just quickly grab this here. So what we've got going on is if I was to take the range, all right, from top to bottom of this impulse move that we've had, this swing that's formed. All right. So at the moment, when it comes to the dollar index, we're still in premium pricing in regards to this trend on the short term. All right. The equilibrium pricing point doesn't start until 103.782. So from that standpoint, we still are in premium pricing. So there should be still buy side liquidity coming into the market because the price is not in a premium to sell just yet. Still in a premium to sell right now. It's not the best prices to sell. So I do expect prices to ride back up. There's a few levels here which are obviously of interest. We have the optimal trade entry. And if you're not too sure what that is, if you go to the playlist series of the recent teaching I gave you all, a 4-part series, institutional price action, then you definitely will be able to understand where this level is. Now, at the optimal trade entry, we do have the price wicking there at one point. We have a supply order block forming here with a little liquidity gap. And then we have a demand zone, which has become supply. So price has flipped the zone. And we've got that situation going on over up here. And we don't have the price wicking back into that area either. Okay, but we do have this price action here. So a fair value gap going on. Now we also have a liquidity void all the way back up to 86. So my question is with the prices, what is it trying to do? One of the first things, of course, I want to see personally is I would like to see the price re-optimize this 30-minute zone. Now, re-optimization is when price turns a demand or the supply zone back to its original use. In this case, I would love to see on the dollar index, the body of the candle close above this 30-minute here, because then that will give us room for some upside movement, especially if it closes above these two demand zones, where we can at least get the rest of this liquidity void. All right, equilibrium is not too far away from here. Okay, now in principle, the long is still in motion from the reaction that we had on Friday's side. It's just that there is no demand zone that's facilitated the price. It's just that the lows haven't violated each other. So we have this low over here. All right, then we have another low not too far out from that up here. And these lows haven't violated each other's price action or these lows. So we can work with them still, right? And that's an important aspect of looking at price action from that regards, okay? Checking about to see where liquidity is in the market, where it's been manufactured, if you want to put it that way, okay, is a key thing to have a look at. So that's one thing I do want to see when it comes to the dollar index. Now, how does this fare, or how's this faring out for other pairs? Now, if I start off with USD CHF, which is the major focus here, let me delete this for now. Have a clean chart. And let's have a look at what's happened. So again, as you know, US dollars versus Swiss franc is very sensitive to the dollar index pricing. And as you can see, just like if I come back here to over here. So as we see here, just like, and I'll probably go to the H4 just to make sure it's clear. Just like the dollar index has taken the high of the previous week and had this massive pull away from the price. All right, we have this same situation going with USD CHF right now, which I'm sure probably caused some turbulence for all of you. The price took the high right here of the previous week and pulled away pretty strongly, right? Now, where's the price gone to? Well, in terms of where the price will go next after running or activating buy stops, right? Because if institutional money wants to get out of their long positions, they need to sell their buy positions to people who are looking to get into the market at higher prices, right? Which is going to be above this range right here. Now, where did the market drop to? So after this massive movement, the key here is to observe what we've had. So first of all, we've had this low interacted with. We've had this set of equal lows here, clean lows, and then we have this over here too. All right. And then we have this low over here. So in this one movement that we had from top to bottom, if I just take it from the H4, in that H4 session, the price took the advantage of after this clean run above the highs right here to run all of these lows here with buy stop. Now, every time there's a new swing low that the price is not broken beneath, it means that there's liquidity beneath it in the form of sell stop, because of course, for price to defend the price point, then there needs to be liquidity to support that. Okay, so underneath these lows would be liquidity, stop losses, pending orders, okay, to defend that price action. So in this one move, in this clean sweep, we had the price take all of these lows. So what I did do on one of my accounts is to take a long from here. And my idea really, I'm looking to come out of the next available order block more than just equilibrium. Now, with equilibrium, it will be great, which landed me over here. But the equilibrium point in this range doesn't really say too much information. I guess on the 15-minute, it is this supply zone too. But on the higher time frames, I do think there is room for the price to do some more. Okay, and I expect it to continue doing some more even into tomorrow. But this is my idea when it comes to trading the price, or trading price action when it comes to looking at USD CHF. Okay, so this is my personal idea of what I expect the price to do. And I do believe the price will do it. It's just more of a thing of timing, right? when the price actually continues going through. But just breaking down the anatomy of price, because when the price was dropping like that, I did take a couple of losses trying to capture a falling knife in a sense, because I did have pre-planned areas where I expected price to go to. But when I just kind of scaled out and looked at the price properly, I realized that, oh, okay, so this is a movement, even though it's a weekly high being taken. It's a moment where price can grab liquidity that's beneath these lows. And that's why the price is reversed the way it has, so almost magically, right? So I'm happy with I really am happy with the trades that are there so far, so good. It's just more of a thing now. I want to see what the price is going to offer again in the future. But for now, it hasn't done a bad job at all. Okay, to say the least, that the price hasn't done a bad job whatsoever. Okay, so moving forward from here, let's go over to other pairs now. So with Pound USD now, not every pair has had this kind of reversal situation at the same degree, but we have had some action. I mean, with Pound USD, it was quite an easy one. The price literally just swept beneath the lows, and then we've had this strong bullish movement without much warning as to where price is going. Now, what did we get going in that situation? Well, we had this obvious high right here where we definitely had liquidity above, and this high over here. All right, all the swing highs across this place right here, we've had reactions above. Now, when I saw this, my idea for Pound USD was to take a short to at least get back into this area here, which was one of the initial induction movements to give us a continuation short, which is what we've had so far. And price has been dropping pretty steadily, based on that. So, based on that price action, I'm trying to also take advantage of it, which I am. I have 2 short positions extra on Pound USD. And so far, so good. The price has been treating me pretty nicely. I expect the price to continue that way. But that's really what the plan has been from the start, to make sure I capture these movements however I can, right? All right, so what's the next thing here? So I do expect the price to continue going short. What do I expect it to go? Well, I mean, after a strong move like this away, there's a few options. If the price doesn't want to continue going short anymore for a little while, then we have this order block here. All right, bullish order block right here that the price has formed, that market can get into here, and we can get some of the liquidity within this range. Or if we're looking at the external ranges, I mean, the low of last week is not too far away. And, attached to that low of last week, we have a demand zone order block. Either from my eyesight, the price is, let me just drag this line straight. So if you see over here, which is why I'm not budging from my Pound USD short for definite now, is that we have a H4 demand order block here beneath this area, and the price, when it did reverse here last week, didn't give us any return into this area for liquidity to be derived from. So to me, I see this as a move that is more for sweeping out and taking old highs and then continuing to short down, because we didn't even get a return in here. So I do think that there is at least 100 pips left in the price. When it gets into this H4 area, then I'll make a decision about what to do. Even though I do consider us to be heavily bearish, and not only just that, but that H4 demand zone is just above the low of last month. I think that the price will be definitely drawn to come down to this area at some point. So I'm not going to buy the noise of looking at the price is going to reverse. I think I'm going to hold on to my positions for now. Okay. And this is why I'm similarly for other pairs, I'm doing the same kind of situation, right? I'm just hanging in there carefully to see what the price is doing, but I do believe we are on our way short. Now, speaking about that, I did get a little bit caught up with AUD/USD. I think I got stopped out. I just couldn't be bothered to get back in because I got stopped out. I think my stop loss was just silly, but I'll show you what I'm talking about, what I mean. Okay, so with AUD/USD, if I go to standard over here, excuse me. So AUD/USD has actually been a pretty brilliant and solid pair. And maybe what might help is that I might have to use AUD/USD on IC markets because the Hugo's Way price feed is not so clear as compared to IC markets. So let me just switch that over now. All right, so switching over here, looking at IC markets now, you can see we have a very clear and strong H4 supply order block that price is just not budging from, right? Very strong, very powerful area. Now, I had this marked out here, which was an inductive move that we had, and the price actually broke structure right over here. And with this break of structure, we had a fast move back, and this is the same period of time when USD CHF was pulling back into the order block area here. Now, my thing is that I originally had a short going, and I don't know what I did. I just gave up on it. And when I came back, the price actually spiked into the order block and has dropped down by 40 pips. Now, I knew the price was going to come short because we had these equal lows over here. So I knew the price was going to come back down here. But I don't know why I just stopped myself from getting in. I think maybe I've compensated by getting into pound USD for a short, but I should have been in that one. And it's pretty simple. Now, I know that the price did trigger a reversal. And if I go to the daily time frame, I'm not worried at all, but just looking at the daily time frame, I can see that the liquidity that's left over from this order block is being dispensed. All right. Now, if we take the low over here and look at market efficiency here, the price didn't return into this demand zone beneath here before the price continued to go short. So the liquidity flow is not completely consistent as it should be. All right. Even if you wanted to say that the market came to a fair value market price, it didn't even do that, which would have been at the break of this high right here. So there's this gap here that the price needs to fill, which is another 180 pips away, right? So this is really what I'm targeting even more because I already know AUD/USD is obviously going to go for a short, but this just butters up the point even more that we should be looking for one, right? But yeah, I wanted to show you guys this brilliant and amazing H4 area that's just really stuck through every moment and just won't budge. This H4 area is probably, this is the dream of all of us to have a H4 area this solid. And I do want to trade off of it. Excuse me. And take advantage of it. Now, because we had this daily movement here, which did produce a reversal here, my only thing, as I said, or I would say, is I'm just kind of consciously being careful to make sure that the body of the candle, I would like to see some strong H1 closes up beneath the low over here for me to be, happy with that to continue for a short. I know the price is most likely going to go short because we do have a strong dollar, despite what I've said, but just to be safe, it's better to be safe than sorry always. And you can see here that I have closed out some of my NZD/USD positions. I think I don't have any NZD/USD trades right now at all, but there's never going to be a difficulty getting into these pairs again. All right. Same thing with Euro/US. Euro/USD, I think Euro/USD, I just let it be its own person. All right. I haven't really done that much. I took some profits where I could. All right. The price gave this strong spike beneath the weekly low. I'm sure there was many sell stops, wiped them all out, and then turned the price the other way. So really strong movements here. But I still see the bearishness of the price. It wasn't strong enough because this is the only H4 area really stopping the price from actually having room to maybe. I don't consider this H4, even though it is a supply order block. Don't get me wrong. Where someone says that Michael says that this is not order block. It is, but in terms of the size of the body, very, very small body and larger wick, so low liquidity inside of here. This is really the last high liquidity H4 supply zone until we get up to 107,765 and then back towards my entry. So how I'm seeing it is that if the price had broken above here on the H4, then I definitely would be considering coming out, even though I know there probably would have been a pullback first and then a long. But this movement here back into supply, I think, is rested in this area of liquidity. Is even taken the high of yesterday with it as it's done this reaction here. So that should have been a lot better because I'm sure there was some more activity, some buy stop, some stop losses, some liquidity to feast on for the market in essence. So now I expect the price to go short. It's just obviously is an awkward time right now in the market because of the time of day it is, but it doesn't take away from the fact that there is still opportunity to go for this, right? So these are my major pairs that I'm looking at. I'm not looking too much at anything else. I managed to escape from USD CAD at the perfect time, but I have to stare at the charts to be honest, and I can just be honest and say it. It wasn't like a lucky escape where I just got out the right time. I really had to plan my entry and exit really well. I'll show you where I had to get out. So I was in a drawdown because I thought the price was going to go along from within this area. Fortunately, we didn't have that. And I just kept putting entries on top of entries, right? So for me to get out, what I had to do is I set myself the high of this day, or this high of this swing, down to the lowest point right here. And what I said to myself, and I had two entries around this area here. Excuse me, around about the 995 area, two 0.10s. Then I had another two right at the top of this move somewhere here. So what I said to myself is I saw a liquidity gap here, but price kept rallying during Asia. So because I saw that, I had the idea that the price is looking for some sort of manipulation, and the most likely place is going to stop at will be optimal trade entry. So I literally closed all my positions as soon as the price hit OT, just before 1 a.m. in the morning. Because after 1 a.m., if you see over here, this is 3, this is 1 o'clock. Price just crashed all the way down. Even though it came back up eventually, but I managed to get out and just free my head for the night and go to sleep without being in a drawdown, which I really appreciate. So that's my story of USD CAD now. Do I think it's going to still go along? Yes, I do. At the moment, I'll take this off. The price is still pretty strongly bullish. Okay, from the first real entry at optimal trade entry, it has done 200 and something pips. I think the price is really lulling around. And as more liquidity comes in tomorrow and the next day, we should see more activity going on. Excuse me. But for now, I still think that USD CAD is definitely a buy. Now, the best thing we can do is, maybe take the last major, swing when we're looking at this, the last major swing low, impulse, and to the top. Now, this swing low here we can use is just about a swing low, but we can take it and just kind of observe what the price is at. So now it's already making a lot more sense why the price seemingly just keeps hanging around here. Well, it looks like we've got almost, I think these are lows are equal. Let me just double check. I'm just going to line them up here quickly. So we've got two lows, all right, which are equal lows, and they're at the equilibrium point. A lot of eeks in my words, but just put that here. So one over here, another over here. So these 2 points are equilibrium over here that the price has formed. Okay, these two lows could be definitely run, but the price has bounced around equilibrium a few times. All right, and it's still hanging into that position over there. Now, I do see that if I go down to lower time frames and I kind of refactor this a little bit better here, all right, we have a few options of what the price could do. The price may decide to launch off from equilibrium and not come back. Also in the H1, there's this H1 order block here. Not the nicest looking one, but it is a H1 order block here. And we do have a fair value gap over here as well, which if the price wants to fill out that gap, that will set us at 62 right here for another short before the long. Now, if I look to the left, of course, the old highs that we've had run are here. This is the last old high that we've had run. If I get the high of this last old run, it's the old high, sorry, it is, let's get that properly. So 1.35678. So 678. 1.535678. Hope I've got that right. Let me just make sure. So hovering over it, the high is 678. Okay, cool. So 678, if you notice what's going on right now, the price is bouncing exactly at that price level right now. Okay, so it's come back to the other side and buying is taking place at the same price that selling was taking place, which is a good sign that the price may actually just continue from here, not dip down to this liquidity void, even though there's a need to fill it, but the price is literally bouncing back on that same area again. Okay, we've had two bounces over here. Second one has sent the price a bit higher, and it's kind of filled up the range of the day that it had before even more widely in this Asian session. So actually that means that the price could probably just take off from where it is at equilibrium and just keep on going. Okay, so slightly came back to fair market value price, and then from there it's taken off again. And now that should put the price in a position where it can go for a long. Okay, so I'm interested to see what the price is really going to do. All right. All right, checking that out. Let's see what happens with USD CAD, but I still think there is room for a long. All right, now all of this price action analysis I'm doing, let's just take a look at the dollar index one more time and see what's going on there, right? You might as well see what the dollar index is doing. All right, so looking at the dollar index again, what do we have going on? So for me, the low hasn't been violated for that Friday move here. This is the first thing again to repeat. I think more for me is, of course, the price hasn't got to equilibrium yet. So even for selling, I'm still on the side of, even if it's a short-term buy, I'm still on the short-term buy side, just because from this last movement to the top to bottom, if you want to take the H4 of what I'm talking about, from this last H4 swing top to bottom that we've had here, this move for the last couple of hours, I mean, we could argue and wait for the H4 candle to close at 5 o'clock because, yep, this swing low might not be the swing low. But if we took the other candle here, which interestingly enough doesn't even, has a low point, okay, and a close being the same price basically, if I hover over, it's probably negligible, but the low of this candle is 103.486 and the close is 103.487. So basically the low and close is the same price right here. There's no wick going on. All right, so anyway, even if I was to take that, equilibrium still lands in the middle of here. I wouldn't expect the price to really move until it gets back into at least the equilibrium at minimum. So this is why I think for me, I'm looking at USD CHF from the sense that there's still room left. Now, again, there is a gap on my chart that hasn't been filled out, and equilibrium doesn't really land on the most significant even flip zones over here. There is one, but not so significant. I think I would like to see the prices get to maybe 62 or OTE. And if this market wants to go short, then, you know, maybe during an odd time, most likely can give us a situation where the price can come back to an optimal trade entry. Now, if the price breaks above this area all completely, then we've just kind of had a second pullback to this movement here, which can happen as well. But this is really what my picture is, guys. So this is my short-term picture for today. Because it's only Tuesday, we still got some time left to see what's going on. But that's really my expectations for the price when it comes to the dollar index compared to other major currencies. All right. Now, I'm hoping to hear your questions next time. If you guys have questions, bring them on with you. All right. For the time's sake, I will end it here, but I'll catch you guys on the next live. I'll see you guys on Thursday again. And everybody take care.